How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the latest of Schmoedown Central. I'm host Brad Thomas, breaking down the weekly what's in the movie trivia Schmoedown. We had a big week. The live event in New York happening, the premiere episode of the Schmoedown for the latest season here. Apologies for getting this up a little later. I've been pretty busy. I've been sick as well. These episodes, I'm pretty busy at work as well, so they might be coming a little bit later, these next few episodes over this next course of the next month and a half or so, but I'll be trying to get those episodes up regardless. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this episode. Happy to be back making these videos for you guys. So let's get into the first match. It's happened in New York. Jeannine the Machine taking on Chance Ellison. So as I mentioned, the first match, Jeannine taking on Chance Ellison. Chance coming in with the 0-1 record, while Jeannine coming in with the 2-2 record, 1 knockout. And round number 1, both players were playing really well, especially the pressure situation in front of this live audience. Jeannine, though, the first to miss on question number 5, having to battle her way back to try to maintain the only 1-point deficit. Each competitor getting question after question correct, and Chance missing on that final question, question number 8, and ends up being a 7-7 tie at the end of round 1. Round number 2, Chance spinning the wheel, and unfortunately for him, spins it twice and gets romantic comedies twice. And on that first question, he ends up giving up a 1-point steal to Jeannine, but managing to get a couple more questions correct, going 2 for 4, a possible 3 out of 8 points, salvaging that round number 2 for a category he did not want at all. And now Chance led by a score of 10-8 midway through round 2. Jeannine up next with the category of 2000s movies. She goes 3 for 4 in that round, getting a possible 4 out of 8 points. Of course, a bit of controversy on question number 3. Chance initially getting a 2-point steal after saying The Strangers as opposed to Jeannine just saying Strangers. Of course, though, this was overturned thanks to Rachel Cushing coming in. The rules were not clarified to all the competitors prior to the start of this season. Of course, articles now will count, but it was not clarified to these competitors, so Jeannine was awarded those points, and also, though, giving up a 1-point steal on question number 4 to end out the round, but a solid round for Jeannine, again making the most of the 2000s category as she now led by a score of 12-11. Round number 3, Chance up first with the category of crime movies. He can't come away with that first question. Question number 2, the 3-pointer in the category of Julia Roberts movies, and gets that question correct now to go up by a score of 14-12. Jeannine trying to bite back. Now, question number 1, the category was comedies, and she gets that first question correct. Question number 2, again coming in the category of 2000s, much like her round number 2, and much like her round number 2, getting that correct now to go up by a score of 17-14. Chance getting his 5-pointer in a category he probably did not want to see, which was romance, and managing to get that question correct, though, to put the pressure back on Jeannine as he led by a score of 19-17. And for Jeannine's 5-point question, the win it all, make or break it type of question, coming in the category of comic book movies, and of all the X-Men films, it comes from X-Men Apocalypse. Unfortunate for Jeannine, as she gets that question incorrect, getting half of it correct, but not fully, as Chance wins it by a score of 19-17, winning the match. So with the victory, Chance improves to 1-1, while Jeannine falling down to 2-3 with 1 knockout. Chance going 11 for 15 for 73% in the match, and Jeannine actually doing a little bit better question-wise, going 12 for 15 for 80% for questions she was asked. Really came down to the 5-point swing, both competitors getting 2 questions in round number 3, and of course Jeannine just falling short, not getting that 5-pointer, really making the difference in this match. So unfortunately there for Jeannine, I'm sure she'll get back in the swing of things. Of course there's some more revelations that happen later on, maybe she can branch out maybe just away from singles and potentially play some teams. We'll have to wait and see exactly. I'll get to that in just a moment. But we did have some other announcements happening midway through this kind of live event, where we see that Emma Fyffe will, of course, be the commissioner of the Inner Geekdom division and the teams division. We'll see if there's a conflict of interest there with the whole Shire Wolves managing. We'll have to wait and see. And then, of course, you have Sam Levine being named the commissioner of the singles division. That's pretty exciting. I'm interested to see how much on-camera time he has, because, again, that'll be fun to see Sam Levine back with the Schmoedown. Of course, he's always at every one of these tapings and stuff, but to see him on camera again, it's always fun, and it's always a blast, and we'll see what he does with this whole singles division. Of course, Christian's still the chairman, but again, we'll have to wait and see. And then we, of course, had the main event, Ethan Erwin defending his title against Dan Murrell. Let's see what happened there. So the main event, Ethan Erwin defending his title against Dan Murrell. Dan Murrell coming in with the 10-4 record, 7 knockouts, while Ethan coming in with the 7-1 record and 3 knockouts. Round number 1, both Dan and Ethan getting question after question correct, bouncing back and forth, no one missing at all up until, of course, question number 7, where Ethan slips just a little bit, gets that question incorrect. Dan, of course, getting that correct, which led the way to a perfect round for Dan Murrell, 8 for 8 in round number 1. Very impressive for him, especially in a title match going up against somebody who doesn't miss much in Ethan Erwin. Of course, Dan also capitalizing on that perfect round to go by 2 points as he got his extra bonus question correct as well, leading now by a score of 9-7. That 2 points could be crucial. Round number 2, Ethan up first, spinning the category of Jodie Foster movies and going perfect in round number 2. 4 possible 8 out of 8 points, what more could you ask for from Ethan Erwin? Especially given the pressure of this live event, a perfect round 2 is a solid follow-up to a nearly perfect round number 1, as Ethan now led by a score of 15-9, while Dan up next, spinning the category of Disney films and doing almost as well as Ethan. 4 for 4, possible 7 or 8 points, only having to use multiple choice just one time, but still a great round from Dan Murrell, and still led now just by a point by a score of 16-15. Round number 3 was the betting round, and it came in the category of thrillers. Dan Murrell, he bet 2 points. Ethan, he bet 3 points. Dan Murrell gaining those 2 points. Ethan also gaining those 3 points. So now we're looking at an 18-18 tie heading into the speed round. A very intense battle from the get-go, and now we're tied heading into round 4. Round number 4, the speed round. Who would come out on top with the lead after this round? Ethan going 3 for 3 for questions he decides to ask. Dan Murrell going 2 for 2 for questions he decides to ask. It was a back and forth affair. Those 2 points by Dan coming up big, as now he of course trailed Ethan now by a score of 21-20. It was very intense, very exciting, and what a round 4 we had, and what was in store for round 5. And in that 5th and final round, Dan up first now found himself, of course, trailing by a point, came in the category of 2000s movies, and for that question, he gets that one correct to go up by a point. Ethan Erwin getting the category of family films, and also getting that correct to go up by a point yet again. Dan Murrell getting the category of Tarantino movies, and he comes away with that correct answer as well by a score now of 25-23. Ethan, his 3-pointer coming in the category of Alfred Hitchcock movies, a very difficult question for question number 2 there. Unfortunately for him, not able to get that question correct, so it came down to Ethan's 5-pointer. Needed to get this one to stay alive, came in the category of movie taglines, not something you want to see show up as your 5-pointer, and Ethan, after using all of his repeats, unable to get that correct answer. Dan Murrell wins it by a score of 25-23. He is now a 3-time champion. Dan Murrell wins it in what could be match of the year already. So with the victory, Dan improves to 11-4 with 7 knockouts, while Ethan now falling to 7-2 with 3 knockouts. Dan Murrell going 18 for 18 for 100%. A perfect game in front of the live New York crowd. Very impressive. Ethan Erwin going 16 for 19 for 84%. Not a bad game by Ethan by any stretch. Just Dan Murrell was perfect for the entire game. Ethan battling back throughout it as well, but not enough to, of course, take out Dan Murrell. So what a match that was. Again, potential match of the year candidate already. It was exciting. It was intense. It was what you could have asked for. Like, what more do you want out of a Schmoedown match than that? Exactly. So impressive victory by Dan Murrell, 100%. 3-time champ. How long will he hold on to it? Who's he defended up against next? That'll be exciting to see exactly who is that. And again, very interesting stuff. Of course, Jay putting together now a team of Jeannine the Machine and Ethan Erwin. We'll see what that team does, calling up the Shire Wolves as well. And then, of course, we had the announcement of Christian Harloff kind of saying what he's going to do with Andrew Guy. He says initially he's going to be suspended for the whole year, but then Ben Bateman coming out saying, I don't want that. I want to get this guy. So, of course, now that goes down to a 1-month suspension, and then we're going to have Andrew Guy take on Ben Bateman. That'll be exciting. That'll be interesting. That'll be fun. Can't wait to see what goes down between the 2 former teammates. Team action coming to a head. Anything can happen because, of course, Andrew Guy has beaten Dan Murrell. Ben Bateman has been on pretty much a pretty solid roll, of course, losing in the tournament last year, but he had won multiple matches in a row prior to that. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what goes down there, but a very exciting, interesting prospect nonetheless. But let's get into our play, misplay, player of the week, and what's coming up next week. So for this week's teams matchup, we got critically acclaimed taking on the Harris Brothers. Harris Brothers, of course, one of the surprise teams of last year, going up against critically acclaimed, one of the teams touted to be potential team title winners. We'll have to wait and see what happens on this match. It should be an intense one. Two teams with big personalities, 4 players with big personalities. It'll be exciting. I can't wait to see the entrances. Of course, for critically acclaimed, especially Bibiani, of course, being that entrance master that he is. Unfortunately, losing out, of course, at the Schmoedown Awards, but can't wait to see what goes down on that team matchup. Then on Friday, February 8th, we got Mark Riley taking on Drew McWeeny. That'll be an interesting, exciting one as well. Is Drew McWeeny Andrew Guy's new partner? I know this has been a rumor that's been kind of spreading a little bit. Of course, Drew McWeeny not able to be at the Schmoedown Awards. Andrew Guy saying he has a new partner. That would be a very interesting twist of events, especially going up against Mark Riley, where Mark Riley, of course, has that rivalry with Andrew Guy from way back, of course, and also being now Ben Bateman's new partner. That would be a very interesting wrinkle to throw in this one, especially a Drew McWeeny heel turn. That'll be exciting if that is the case as well, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Mark Riley versus Drew McWeeny will be an exciting one, an interesting one, and a battle of 2 titans of the Schmoedown League, so we'll have to wait and see who wins that one. But our play of the week has got to be Dan Murrell, round number 1, the perfect round, going up by 2 points, especially those 2 points there, because if those 2 points don't happen, then of course you fall down to a tie, and we're potentially seeing a sudden death scenario if Dan Murrell doesn't hit his 5-pointer. That could have been a game changer in this whole game. What would have happened if that did not happen? But of course, Dan Murrell by 100% whole game, let alone the round number 1. That's why it's our play of the week. Very difficult to come up with a misplay of the week, but we're going to have to go with Jeannine the Machine's 5-pointer. Getting half of that question correct, of course, saying Angel and Mystique as opposed to Angel and Nightcrawler. Had the blue color correct, just unfortunately the wrong character there. Close matchup. Had she get that, of course, she's winning the game, and of course getting that W over Chance Ellison, but that was not the case. Fortunate for Jeannine, no one real big misplays here this week, but it was one of those big moments that did stand out and change the game. But you know it, you know who it is, the player of the week, Dan Murrell, 100% 3-time champ, getting the big victory over Ethan Erwin in front of the live New York audience. An impressive victory by Dan Murrell. I've said it all already this episode. I'll say it again, one of the best there is here. And of course, that 3-time champion, who's going to go up against next? It'll be exciting, it'll be interesting. And the Horseman potentially back on top. We'll just have to wait and see, though. So that does it for this episode of Schmoedown Central. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Let me know your predictions for next week, your thoughts on this week's episode, your thoughts on the whole live event, what you thought of it. Of course, join the Schmoedown Patreon. They do great stuff there. Be a supporter, help support the league. It's a great thing. Seeing that live event live was a really cool experience. Can't wait to see more of those live events. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at 94BradThomas or at Schmoedown Cent to keep updated in the world of Schmoedown Central and my world as well. It was a great to be back here, and let me know all your thoughts. Of course, again, follow me, comment, subscribe, like, all the good stuff. Can't wait to hear all your thoughts, and I will talk to you all next week on Schmoedown Central.